Was it as good for you as it was for me? We just got out of The Green Knight.
Mike's long-awaited film.
Long-awaited, was supposed to come out in May 2020.
And here we are.
We know how that went. It is now July 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Over a year from when it was supposed to come out. That is not unusual for movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to describe it to you. Well, it might happen again with the Delta variant. Who knows?
Don't say that. You're going to jinx.
Anyway, so we got out of The Green Knight, directed by David Lowery.
Mm-hmm.
It is the tale passed down through history of Sir Gawain and The Green Knight. Starring Dev Patel, Ralph, and I forgot to check this. I believe it's Ineson, Sean Harris, Alicia Vikander, Kate Dickey,
Joel
Edgerton, Barry Keoghan,
Ralph Ineson.
I'm pretty sure I heard him say Ineson.
I don't know. It's not Outison.
Hold up.
And I'm your guide, Ralph Ineson.
Ineson!
It wasn't Ineson.
Google was wrong!
For the first time in history. Ever.
Yes. Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, starring Ralph Ineson, Dev Patel, all those people we already said. If you've seen our trailer reaction, which is more just my trailer reaction with him sitting there.
Yeah, he just, like now.
I was extremely excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the real question that we have to answer, did it live up to my expectations?
Well.
But before we do that,
we're jumping to me.
Jumping to you. What did you think of The Green Knight?
I want to just hear yours.
Well, you had something you wanted to say that you don't want to forget.
Yeah, but I will remember it.
Will you? Did you write it down?
As long as I don't say a fucking word.
So, as is the case with a lot of David Lowery movies, I get movie remorse, like in the first 10, 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That happened to us hardcore with A Ghost Story.
Yeah.
Where we thought A Ghost Story was terrible in the first, I would say the first half hour. We were like, man, we're about to walk out of this. And then it became my favorite movie as it went on. I know you really, enjoyed it.
It's up there for sure.
Yeah. So when this started out, going in with high expectations, the first 15, 20 minutes didn't quite meet those expectations, but that is my own fault because my expectations were so goddamn high. And it took a while for this to get to a point where I was really into it. What I thought this was going to be was just like a old English tale that was trippy. And to an extent, it was, but not to the extent that I wanted. It was more straightforward than I was expecting it, which is why I wasn't as excited in the very beginning. But then it kind of started to build the story, and we'll get into that a bit more. But I thought it was a absolutely gorgeous film. It's extremely immersive.
From its beginning to its end.
From its beginning to its end, you never once feel like you're not in that time period and in that world. Helps a lot that I'm fairly certain they shot in actual castles to the point where it's so dark that you can't see much.
Pretty much.
But yeah, just the world building from the get-go and how you see the landscape, which I believe they shot in Ireland. If you watch our videos, you know I love Ireland. Or listen to the podcast. I talk about it more on the podcast. But yeah, so it's just a beautiful film with great acting. Me being the dumbass I am, it's hard to understand what they're saying somewhat because they're speaking Old English.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't just you. It was I was like, man, I would love
subtitles
to read them talking about this
shit. Would love subtitles in a situation like this.
And it wasn't like Macbeth levels of like heard from. I was keeping along obviously fine, but I was like, I would love to know what language they're speaking. But I'm following.
But to get the ball rolling, it's kind of like a normal period piece of that time when I was expecting more of a fantasy epic.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it became the fantasy epic. But it's something that I definitely have to sit on. Like, I don't know if I have all my thoughts in order right now. Whoa! So I feel like I have to see it a few more times or talk about it more to really know the details of how I feel. But I really enjoyed it overall. I want to say I love it, but it really, like, a ghost story rewards you the more you watch it.
Yeah.
And I have to see if this does the same. But it's definitely up there for me.
I think for me, I never once got bored with this movie.
Yeah.
Not once at all. It was, like we were saying earlier, it was an absolutely gorgeous, just from either cinematography or costume design or just hairdressing or just everything about this was beautiful. It was easy to follow as far as like them speaking the old Shakespearean tongue.
Yeah, you got the gist of what they were saying if you didn't get exactly what they were saying.
And everybody's performance was amazing in it. And I mean, for me personally, I think this is probably going to be my top movie of the year. I mean, not that it has much of a competition, but it definitely was that good to uphold that. And what was great about as far as the story went, and this is what I had in my head and I don't want to lose it, is that for up until the last 15 minutes, we were a part of a journey, a knight's tale, if you will, and then the last 15 minutes told a whole story.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like beautiful because in the beginning you predict what's going to happen. I mean, they pretty much hand it to you on a platter what's going to happen.
They tell you from the open narration.
Yeah. And then in the last 15 minutes, it kind of like is giving that to you, and then it's like no, and then it drags you through this whole story of. I don't want to spoil it. I honestly don't think I want to spoil anything in this.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna do spoilers in this video.
And it goes through a whole thing. Doesn't go with what you were predicting. And I thought the whole thing was beautiful, and how it ended was awesome. And I love foxes, and he was there like the whole time too. There was a fox, and
there was a fox.
There's my Glenn Dumb brain. Like I was pretty happy about this.
It's a fox.
It was a journey, but we were there for the story.
Yeah,
fox. But it was a really good movie. I think it is definitely going to be my number one. I mean, there's still the rest of the year, but still, I think it's going to be up there for sure.
There's only one movie that I'm really excited for that I have a feeling could beat this one out. But yeah, I'm with you there. So far, I think it is my favorite movie of the year. And going back to what you were saying, that's kind of what David Lowery does. Like, a ghost story is kind of the same way, where it starts off slow and then you kind of get what's going on, but it's still just like, okay, where are you going with this? And then the last 15-20 minutes wraps everything up nice and neat. And I love that aspect of his work. It's a lot of films I feel have strong through lines, and then the last 20 minutes you're just like, that's it.
Yep.
And I'm not talking about movies that just end without wrapping it up, because I love movies that like leave things up to open to interpretations, but it's not impressive what the film is saying. But this one, I think what the film is saying is so strong and poignant. I don't know if that's the correct word. Poignant, yeah, kind of. It makes sense, but it's not quite what I want to say. But it just wraps everything up, but leaves things open to. It does both. It wraps it up, but leaves things open to interpretation, and really, until you know how it ends, and this is all I will say. I don't know if I want to say it.
It's tough.
I'm gonna say it, and then I might cut it out later.
Okay.
Until you know how it ends, the ending. Yeah, I'm gonna cut that out. That's too much.
He doesn't. You're gonna cut that out too.
Yes, but we talked about it.
We did. We were here for each other.
Yes, but it's just a fantastic film, very immersive. It's a film. It's 2 hours 5 minutes. I want to say.
It didn't feel like it.
It doesn't. It goes really quick, and
And like I said, I never once really took my eyes off this or looked at my watch or got bored or anything. You were there for the whole time, or I was there for the whole time.
The only reason I took my eyes off the screen is because I have a wife and a baby at home, and I need to make sure
it's a valuable
yes.
excuse.
But if it weren't for that, and I didn't get a text message from someone who wasn't my wife,
be throwing that damn phone across.
I would have
threw
that. But she would be mad at me if something actually happened, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was watching The Green Knight." You gotta just see this for yourself with as little information as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I've been avoiding like some of the 15-second commercials they've had for it.
Yeah, I've only watched the one trailer we watched, and then I avoided everything. But I looked at the scores a couple days before we actually did come see this. But I mean, that was as far as I went.
One thing I love is this is a movie that uses a good mix of CGI and practical. Like The Green Knight, for the most part, is practical.
Yeah.
Like it's
besides really the
makeup
fox.
to make him look like he's made out of wood.
Yeah.
But then like the fox is CGI, the giants are
obviously. Well,
they might be green screen, but
they're people. But
they're
big.
And it's that's how film should be. Is a good mix of CGI and practical, and not just one or the other, because both have their flaws.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a absolutely beautiful film. You're gonna at least enjoy looking at it.
That's 100%.
I think you'll enjoy the story too, but you'll at least enjoy looking at it. And the score from Daniel Hart, who does David Lowery's other films, didn't sound like Daniel Hart, but it still was him.
It was still an amazing whole score soundtrack.
He definitely branched away from his normal sound, and there was a few moments that sounded like him, but for the most part, it was definitely a departure from his normal sound.
Yeah.
But I can't say anything more about this film without giving it away.
And we don't want to do that.
We don't want to do that way.
Absolutely not.
I think
I kind of want to sit on this.
I want to sit on this.
But I'm going to throw what my temporary score is.
Same here. And then you can text me, I might wait a bit to release this. But, my temporary score, possibly my permanent score, is a 5 out of 5. Hello, all you sweet people. It's Mike here. Just to give you an update that after much discussion, Glenn and I have decided these are our permanent scores. So, no temporary scores here.
It was either that or a 4.5.
Yeah.
It's right.
It's not going lower than a 4.5.
It's not going lower than that.
I have to sit on it a bit longer. I'll have to see it again. Also, sorry, Die Hard, this is the best Christmas movie ever made.
It's true.
Suck it.
Yippee-ki-yay, Mother Green Knight.